Hi, I'm Laura D Pusey. Thanks for joining me. I am the founder of Dipism, Death in Practice, and on this channel we're delving deeper into death, grief, and ultimately life. Okay, so I just want to remind you that smoking is not permitted within the building unless you're at home chilling, and if that's the case, then you're free to do whatever it is you like. Also, you will see that the comments are turned off. This is for a few reasons. Firstly, these are my perspectives gained from extensive work in my field, and I'm just putting my thoughts out there. So it is vital that I and my viewers are protected from any negative or low vibes. I want you, the viewer, to gain your own insights and find answers that work for you. Your journey is personal and doesn't need to be challenged or mocked or even upheld by strangers in the comments section. Finally, moving through the realms of death and grief as I do can be tiring. This means I have limited capacity and have to be selective about the people I work and share my energy with. Having said that, I do welcome group and personal one-to-one conversations that delve deeper into the meaning of death and the purpose of grief. During such sessions, I share spiritual and mindful insights, new perspectives, hypnotic suggestion, and common sense guidance for those who seek to gain an inner standing of death and grief based on their own personal truths. For more information, watch to the end, and if you like what you hear, please share the video, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. In the previous video, I answered the questions, what is grief and why do we grieve? We definitely haven't finished with grief. Indeed, we are just getting started. However, today I am answering the question, whose funeral is it really? And the answer I'm providing is in alignment with my experiences, primarily as a funeral celebrant and as a funeral arranger. Also, though, as an avid watcher of the funeral performance, prep, and aftershocks within the communities that I have served within the UK. After this video, you might want to purchase a copy of My Life's Tapestry, but watch the video first and you'll find the link is in the description box below. Now, let's open the veil of luminescence. With the intention of infinite truths, by the pulse of sacred light, I call forth the veil of luminescence. I anchor this veil in sovereign light to transmute and contain all energetic imprints, attachments, and residues across all realms. The material plane, where grief etches into the body. The emotional plane, where sorrow swells and purges. The mental plane, where stories of loss seek resolution. The astral plane, where echoes of the departed linger. The interdimensional corridors, where ancestral and cosmic threads intertwine. The parallel universes, where grief and grace mirror each other. This veil, woven of remembrance and radiance, is encoded with clarity to discern what is yours and what is not. Containment to protect your field. Compassion to honour the sacred work of grief. Transmutation to alchemize pain into wisdom. Let this veil shimmer between worlds, holding space for the divinity of each soul. the teachings where presence dissolves suffering, the soul's awakening where death births depth, the healing where grief becomes grace. This veil is not a wall but a sacred membrane, allowing only what aligns with truth, love, and remembrance to pass through. By the breath of the infinite, by the pulse of the sacred, I seal this veil with sovereignty and light. It's great to have you here as we delve deep into the question, whose funeral is it really? It interests me how we seem to prepare for everything but death and the subsequent funeral. It baffles me because we all know that at some point in our lives we are going to die. Not just ourselves, but every single person we know. I'm willing to bet money that the chances of us all still being here in 100 years is slim to none. And yet, we don't want to think about it. Let's think about it. How many times have you been to a funeral and it didn't reflect the person you knew? It happens a lot. And the reason is because we don't tend to know the people we love the most. Okay. Stick with me here. I know you might be thinking, what does she know? Of course I knew my ... But just hear me out. We have a picture of our loved ones that lives in our mind. And that idea of who they are is personal to us. When they do something that is not in alignment with the picture that we have of them, we get all stressed out and upset over it because we now have to adjust that picture that we have been carrying in our heads. And when they die, that picture can get a little distorted through our grief. That's how arseholes become angels. Within these bodies, we are many different personalities. Think about it. Perhaps the way that you talk to your mum is not how you talk to your dad. The way you talk to your parents is not the way that you talk to your work colleagues or your teachers. And the relationship you have with your mates may not be on the same level as that which you share with your siblings, your cousins, your aunts or your uncles. Some people are just closer to you than others, and that's life. We are all different people in different situations, whether you are at school to learn, teach, or attend parents' evening. You are going to communicate using your ever-changing authority in different ways. Whether you go to the bank, the doctors, or simply get on the bus, the amount of yourself that you share with other people around you varies a lot. We adjust our way of speaking, behaving, and listening depending on factors like who we are talking to, the setting, our relationship with the person, and the social expectations of the situation. Please bear all of this in mind as we continue with the video. So, when you die, whose funeral is it really? Well, it's not yours. You're dead and no longer have a say in the matter unless you have written down or spoken through your instructions clearly with the person tasked with getting it right. It's a lot of responsibility, you know. And I guess I'm speaking to the grand majority of us who are yet to write our will. Your funeral belongs to the person who is actually paying for it. If they have signed the contract, the funeral director won't take instructions from anyone else unless the person who is paying has told them to do so. Even if they're going to claim the money back from your estate, unless you have specifically assigned someone to the role of arranger, your funeral will be put together by the person who owns it or someone they trust to make all the major decisions. If they consider the thoughts and feelings of the people that you care about, the other people that are close to you, well, then that's a real bonus. But, for example, if they like dandelions, you might end up with a dandelion spray on your coffin. There's nothing wrong with that if you love the colour yellow or if you like dandelions. But they're not usually the first thought when it comes to funeral flowers. Different flowers carry their own meanings. For example, lilies represent purity of the soul. Roses represent love and deep emotion. Carnations are used for remembrance, and wreaths represent eternal life, as a circle has no ending. Actually, flowers were originally used to mask the scent of death. Now they are more symbolic of beauty in impermanence, love, respect, and the fragility of life. The funeral is about the person who has died, but it is not for them. It is a ritual that offers closure. It is a structured and symbolic event, whether it takes place in a religious setting or not. Nowadays, people are breaking free from many of the traditional routes of closure by ensuring, for example, that no one wears black to the funeral if the person were particularly young or gregarious. As a funeral celebrant, I'm always keen to ask if there is a colour scheme, because colours mean a lot. Back in the day, black was the symbol of mourning, seriousness, and humility. In the West, black was a representation of the sombre mood and the expression of united grief. United grief. Grief doesn't seem very united anymore. There was a time when no one could be refused entry into a place of worship. Today, more and more people are deciding who to invite to a funeral. It's like an exclusive event. And by the way some people have lived their lives, bodyguards are becoming a necessity as conflict within families and external sources arises. Little things can become a big deal when it comes to arranging the funeral. Like, whose pictures will go in the order of service, who will be sitting in which limo, and who will deliver the eulogy. The last funeral I went to was one within my own family. It was a catastrophe and left me wondering whether I was done with this whole funeral thing. I'm here talking about it. I am not exempt. There are simply no words. And to think I had personally visited the couple and dropped off copies of my book, My Life's Tapestry, for them to complete. Obviously, they discarded the book. So there was drama. You know, some people do want the drama, though. Some people will go to a funeral just to see the drama. And you know, I've personally heard elders remark about the trouble that will break out at their funerals when their adult children clash. They know which child will crack, which one will break, who will hold it together, and who will explode. In many families, squabbles and wrongdoings haven't been addressed, and at times there's years of pent-up emotion bubbling just under the surface. It's such a shame because in a lot of cases, as we have grown up, all anyone ever wanted or needed was to be seen, heard, acknowledged, respected, appreciated, or pulled up for their bad behaviour. But remember what I said at the beginning. We have ideas of people. We don't always get it right. But sweeping the shit stories under the rug don't stop the smells from permeating the air. I do this work because I've been through it more than once. If you can, it's best to clean up the family messes as soon as they happen. Stop them from developing or get somebody in to mediate. Our family members come with different personalities, and I know it's not easy, but addressing those off-key moments can save a lot of people and our future generations from a lot of heartache. Not everyone likes to attend funerals, but there are a growing number of people who will turn up even if they don't know the deceased or their family. There are just some funerals that you know are going to be heavier than others, and some people enjoy that heavy energy. Maybe I'm guilty of that. Funerals are a social event. I prefer a good funeral over a wedding any day. Seeing people dressed up, old family and friends from back in the day. But let's remember, it's about the person who has died. And if they had their stuff in order, then there's no need for any graveside strife. I love funerals because this is the time when we can come together and truly evaluate the life that has been lived. If you remember in the first video, What is Death and Why Do We Die? I said that we can't have life without death. Death is the completion of a life, and what makes it a tragedy or a celebration is the way that life was lived and the circumstances under which that person laid their body aside. Now, the eulogy tells the story of our lives. It honours the identity, the meaning and the impact of the person. It stitches together the final narrative of a life lived, regardless of the length of that life. The eulogy serves as a communal memory, anchoring the deceased in relationships. The order of service is a physical artifact symbolizing the ritual, funeral, journey. It serves as a memorial keepsake and connects those who attend through a shared ritual, like an official seal. This life has reached its end. The chosen music represents the person's personality, culture, or faith. It is to transport our emotions, memories, and take us back to the good old days and happier moments in time. Music is a device for time travel. It acts as a bridge between worlds. It offers comfort for the living and honour for the dead. As the oldest and possibly the last institution in the UK that is a closed shop traditionally for people that look like me, the funeral industry is recession proof, requiring no qualifications to serve. And it is a great profession for people who are naturally stoic or friendly with a caring nature or don't like to be around people. The dead don't answer back. Well, they're not supposed to. Yes, over the years, we have heard some dodgy stories of dark happenings going on behind the scenes. But that can only happen because we allow death to be such a taboo. We need to be open to death. In the UK, the funeral industry has been traditionally handed down from father to son or kept within the family. But we need more and more people to enter the service, especially people from different backgrounds and cultures who can cater to the needs of the client with an intuitive knowing. There are so many other ways to honour our dead. Perhaps it's time for a shake-up within the funeral industry. You don't have to deal with dead bodies all day long. Maybe you could be a funeral celebrant, acting as the voice of ceremony, guiding meaning and interpretation and representing spiritual or communal authority. The celebrant provides a structure for ritual, blessing, farewell, and transition. The funeral arranger ensures all the paperwork is completed and the flowers are booked and everyone knows where and when and how everything is going to take place. The funeral director does the meet and greet and really sets the pace, keeping the proceedings moving. They tend to get the praise as they are publicly guiding the dead and leading the living with dignity. Now, you may enjoy being the driver of a sleek glass-sided hearse. The hearse symbolises transparency and honour as you transition the body to the final resting place at a pace that shows respect for the life that's been lived and offers time for reflection. Or maybe you could be part of the cortege, representing the community and accompanying the family of the deceased on this final journey as they move together in a show of collective grief. There are so many other sides to the funeral industry that are not people facing. In truth, there is a whole workforce catering to the dead, and the work is hard at times. It can be labour intensive, but it is so rewarding. And if I'm being fair, I would say that those who are fulfilling this work should be paid so much more. But at the same time, I know that historically, over the years, those considered black in the UK have been actively kept out of this industry and disgustingly overcharged for their funerals, whilst the bodies of their loved ones haven't been adequately cared for or given the respect they deserve. Yeah, I said that. So, how can we ensure our funerals are a place of peace and a celebration of life? Let's get our ish together from now. So many times in my work, I've asked, what were mum's favourite flowers? What schools did dad go to? What year did they get married? Only to be met by blank faces. The journal, My Life's Tapestry, allows you to immortalise your life as you narrate your family tree, tell your own life story, and share your personal likes and dislikes. When completed, this journal allows those who love and care for you to speak on your behalf when navigating with doctors, nurses, consultants, funeral professionals, and family members. My Life's Tapestry provides the opportunity for you to clear up old family conflicts, put past rumours to rest, and let those closest to you know how you feel about them. Let them know you. They'll only do this once. So save your loved ones the feelings of guilt, regret, or worry that they didn't get it right. And for those of you who say it doesn't matter because I won't be there anyway, you're right. You won't physically be at your funeral, but you can rest assured that you have done all that you can to keep your family together and in sound mind. And this journal is also a gift for your future generations who can have the opportunity to grow up in a family that is free from turmoil. One day they can read this book and say, wow, that was my great, 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 great. They would be able to receive a first-hand account of your life without having to rely on the narratives that will change history for the favour of those who are in power at that time. This is how you stay alive and help your descendants to survive based on that which you learned and lived through. Going through the book doesn't have to be an ordeal. Late in 2024, I was blown away when I heard that one family learned that their grandmother had been a pianist. They knew that because she had completed my life's tapestry before she died. Imagine all their lives, all the love that they shared, and there was no indication at all from her until she was gone that she had had another life, or that perhaps she had made sacrifices because she loved. Your family has so much more that they need to know about you. Write it down and make sure they get your funeral right. Okay, I want to thank you for watching. If you like what you heard, please hit that like button and subscribe. If this video has touched you in any way and you really need to share your thoughts, then email me at deathinpractice@gmail.com. Please state clearly whether or not any of your email can be shared, and if you want the shout out, then let me know what to call you. What's your name or your tag? Let me know. Book your space on our monthly Zoom, and at the moment we only have 12 spaces available. Hopefully that will increase in the future. The Eventbrite link is below. And finally, if someone you know needs to see this video, please do share it with them. All my links are in the description box below. And now, let us close the veil of luminescence. By the breath of the infinite, by the pulse of the sacred, I honour the veil of luminescence now fulfilled. This veil, once summoned to transmute and contain, has held the field with clarity, compassion, and sovereign light. As the teachings settle and the soul integrates, I call forth the sacred closure of this veil across all realms. On the mental plane, let the body rest in renewal. On the emotional plane, let sorrow soften into spaciousness. On the mental plane, let stories find stillness. On the astral plane, let echoes return to source. Through interdimensional corridors, let threads untangle. Across spheres and planetary systems, allow contracts to be honoured and released. Let all residues now return to their rightful place, dissolved, dispersed, or transmuted by sovereign light. Let the veil fold inward, encoded with discernment to preserve what is true, containment to seal what is sacred, compassion to cradle what remains tender, and wisdom to carry forth what has been alchemized. This veil is reabsorbed into the soul's archive, a luminous record of presence, grief, and transformation. By the breath of the infinite, by the pulse of the sacred, I seal this veil with sovereignty and light.